Man, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? You know the vibes, you know the energy. We back at it, local locker room. We had an event go on this weekend. No, we didn't get booked for it. Yes, we pulled up to it. Yes, they showed us love, as always. First and foremost, let's get right into it, man. We had a great event. A great event that hopped off at the Memorial Day Classic. Memorial Day Classic this weekend. We had a fire event go down. Memorial Day Classic, hosted by Coach Bird and Merlin Heat. They had teams from all over the place, man. Teams from VA, teams from Maryland, teams from DC. Actually, no, it wasn't any teams from VA. No, it wasn't. Teams from Maryland, teams from DC, teams from Connecticut, teams from Philly. Couple good teams in the building, man. It went down, great event. Let's get right into the event to start off with, right? So we're going to get into the event to start off with. It was a good event. It was an overall good event. Saturday went to the event. And I must say, Saturday when we went to the event, it wasn't a bad event on Saturday. It was extremely hot on Saturday. Extremely hot. Shout out to the kids that got out there and banged and did what they do. Shout out to the coaches. Shout out to the parents that came out and supported. I didn't make it to Ballou High School. They had games at Ballou. They had games at Potomac. I didn't make it to Ballou High School. I kind of wish I had went to Ballou High School because the service at Potomac was not good at all. The signal was horrible. So the live was choppy as hell. So I should have just went to Ballou. But I wanted to go check out some teams. I'm glad I did go to Potomac High School to check out the games because I was able to see a 6U game. Best game of the weekend, in my opinion. In my opinion, best game of the weekend. I would have loved to seen it in the 6U championship game, but it didn't go down that way. NWO versus Rosedale. Rosedale versus the NWO 6U. Game was fire. Go check out the YouTube. Not going to get really deep into it. Check out the YouTube channel. Look at the game. I did the recap on the game. Check out the YouTube channel and look at the recap on the game. It's just the plays. It's not the long live feed, so you don't have to worry about sitting there for an hour watching the whole game. You can check it out. It's about a 10-minute video. It has all the plays. All the plays is on there. Play-by-play. And you can check out the game and see how it went. Again, great game. Great game. What you want to see in the preseason. Beautiful game. One team jumped out. The other one came back. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Good game. Shout out to Rosedale. Number 0 for Rosedale. Problem. Big, strong, fast. Problem. Keep an eye out for him. I need somebody to send me his name, man. Number 0, the running back for Rosedale. When they got to running that big boy downhill, it became a problem at 6U. So 7U. I keep saying 6U. I'm tripping. We getting ready to do the 6U recap from the championship game. That's why I keep saying 6U. But the best game I seen was definitely the 7U. Rosedale versus, I think it's Rosedale Tigers versus NWO. Rosedale versus NWO from DMVU. Bro, fire game, bro. Rosedale Tigers 7U got a running back that is a problem, bro. Loved watching him play. I need to get his name. I had to correct that. My bad. Y'all know I be messing up. I quit. Players fuck up too. But, again, like I said, go check it out, man. Go check it out on YouTube. NWO 7U versus Rosedale Tigers. Fire game. Probably my game of the weekend, in all honesty. I would have loved to seen that in the championship. If that was a championship game, it would have been hands down the best championship game of the day. All right. So, championship Sunday at the St. James. Fire facility. Top facility. Probably the best, hands down the best facility in Virginia. Easy. Not even a question, right? They had another streaming service for whatever reason. They had another streaming service. No problem. I get to the St. James. Shout out to the St. James. Soon as me and my crew, Soul Captain, Shea Butter, pull up, we walk in. People at the front desk remember this. Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all doing anything today? Nah, we not booked today. We just here. We're going to do a little bit of streaming. Cool. We get to the door where you got to go into the football field. Young lady running the table. Hey, I remember you guys. You local locker room. Yes, we are. Here you go. Gave us the 3 bands with no problem. No BS. No, well, you got to talk to this, that. Which I had sent Bird a message. I had sent Marco a message. Rambo a message. They were going to take care of it. They told me they was going to handle it and take care of it. So I knew it was going to be straight anyway. But before I even had to get to that route, before I even had to have a conversation with Bird, they took care of me, man. They took care of me. So shout out to them for that. They definitely took care of me. Much love to the St. James. Much love to Bird. First day, I paid for my crew to get in at Potomac because the people at the table, with all due respect, they were very nice, very hospitable. My man Ace pulled up. But I understood that they didn't recognize me because I didn't recognize them. So I didn't even push the issue. I didn't even pull the media card. I didn't even ask to get in free, nothing. I went ahead and paid because I knew I didn't recognize them. So I assumed they didn't recognize me. So I wasn't even going to push the issue. Plus, it was a long line. It was hot. So I didn't have no problem donating to the cause, man. I didn't have no problem donating to the cause. Bird and a few others did offer to take care of me the next day and get me right. No problem. I'm good. So they took care. They let me in the next day. No pay. So shout out to Bird for running a good event. Shout out to St. James for looking out and showing good hospitality and love. But I will say this. Bird, if you're going to get somebody to do the play-by-play, right? It don't got to be me. It don't got to be local locker room. No problem. You get anybody you want. It's your event. But what I do recommend is that you get somebody who knows the teams. You get somebody from the area. My man Rod, OG Rod is what I call him. Y'all know Rodney, man. He be doing the live streams and at the games. He's a local locker room affiliate. He'll tell you that. Get Rod. If you don't want to get the locker room, get Rod. Because I'm telling you now, the first 2 games, Rod won't dare. Play-by-play, no disrespect. And I'm not saying that to mean disrespect because I know some of y'all say, oh, when you say no disrespect, that's the first thing. No, I mean that with all due respect. The play-by-play for the first 2 games was hit and miss. It was there and wasn't there. Hit and miss. He really was running around doing too much. Your play-by-play man can't be running around doing everything else too. Because then he's not doing the play-by-play. He was down there doing the award ceremony. He was getting the people hype on the field. And I dig that and I like all that. But then he wasn't doing the play-by-play. Music in between timeouts. Music in between what's the names. He was having to run from one thing and run to that. And by the time he would turn the music on, the timeout be over. So again, I say this to say that. It's no disrespect. It's no hate towards Chris or Say No More Sports. Because that's my guy. And he offered to give me the mic. But I wasn't going to do it because I wasn't booked for the event. He definitely offered me to come set up where he was. He definitely offered me to do the double mic thing. But it wasn't my event, so I wasn't going to do that. You feel me? OG Rod showed up. He gave OG Rod the mic. OG Rod immediately shot the energy through the roof. Why? Because they know Rod. Rod know them. He know the kids know him. The teams know him. The parents know him. The energy immediately shot through the roof when OG Rod was there calling the game. OG Rod left, it went back down. Because the individual you had calling the games didn't know the teams, didn't know the kids, didn't know the parents, didn't know the energy, didn't know how to interact. It was almost like the first time I worked in the city without Wayne. It was a little shaky. I can admit that because I didn't know all the teams. I knew some, I didn't know all. But once I got the hang of it, once I knew the teams, once I started knowing the parents, once I started knowing the coaches, once I started knowing the players, they started knowing me, then it became a party. It became a party with football games. So again, the only thing I will say that was a little iffy was the play-by-play wasn't there. Music really wasn't fully there. Playing the same songs over and over again throughout the day. But again, it was because he was running around doing multiple things. If you're going to be doing all of that, you need a team. I learned that the hard way. If you're going to be doing all of that, you need a team. You need a team. So again, shout out. Again, it's not a negative thing. It's not a shot. It's just my opinion. I'm voicing my opinion from a media's perspective, a media point of view. If you're going to be doing multiple things other than just doing the play-by-play, you have to have a team. Big Wayne, Lord rest his soul, he taught me that. He told me that immediately. If you're just doing the play-by-play, just do play-by-play. If you want to do multiple other things and you're doing the play-by-play announcing, you have to have a team. That was the reason he linked up with me. Lord rest his soul. Again. So that's some advice that he gave to me. That's some advice that I'm going to pass on because me having a team in local locker room has helped me drastically. I'm just going to keep it funky with you. So that's just a gem that was passed on to me from Big Wayne. So I'm going to pass it on to others as well. If you're going to be doing the play-by-play and you're going to be doing the ring ceremony and you're going to be doing other things and interacting, you have to have a team, which is why local locker room is not just the bad guy. It's the bad guy. It's Shea Butter. It's Lady Snoop, who will be back soon. It's Soul Captain. It's DJ Mikey Mike. Like, we got a couple. It's OG Rod. We got a whole team, man. So you need that team to do things like that. Now, this recap here, we're going to do individual recaps for each age group, each championship game. This recap right here is for the 6U. And man, let me tell you about the 6U. Maryland Heat versus DMV Prime. Maryland Heat versus DMV Prime. Let me tell you something. They said the game was starting at 8:30. We got there at about 8:35. We got there at about 8:35, about 5 minutes late. By the time I got my equipment set up, no lie, real facts, by the time I got my equipment set up, it was 12-0. Maryland Heat, 12-0. 12-0. And I'm going to give you some footage, some play-by-play just to give you an idea of exactly what I'm talking about. I got a few clips from the live because this year I want to give y'all actual video footage. I get so sick and tired of hearing you crybaby ass coaches, you crying ass parents sometimes. Not all of y'all, because some of y'all keep it funky. In fact, it's a small percentage. It's a small percentage that feel like it's a small percentage that still feels like we just be talking the talk, like we don't know what we talking about. But it's gotten way smaller. The percentage has gotten way smaller than what it was when we first started doing the media thing. A lot more people believe. A lot more people DM me. A lot more people call me and say, hey, man, you know what you're talking about. Hey, man, you be on your shit. Hey, man, I got a little bit more information to add to what you know. So it's a small percentage that still doubts. It's a small percentage that still hates. It's a small percentage of the DD clan that's still out there. But anyway, so to top all of that, what I decided to do this year, man, I decided to do the video footage. And as you can see, I'm not live. This is an actual recap show. We're going to be doing recap shows all year long. This is a recap video. I'm not live because I don't need the interaction. I wanted you to hear and see exactly what I see and what I feel. Again, this is my opinion. This is my opinion, man. This is just my opinion on what I seen and what happened. And I'm telling you right now, Maryland Heat 6U, the Army, crazy fire team. You better have your A game on. I'm telling you right now, these young men come to ball. Now, DMV Prime, I haven't had a chance to see them until this game. But the 6U Maryland Heat I had seen play 2 times before this. I've seen them play with my own eyes and through the lens. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of folks say you got to see it in person. It's not the same as seeing it on the camera or live feed. It really is. It's the same thing. The only difference is in person, you get the energy. Their coaches are full of energy. Maryland Heat's coaching staff was full of energy the entire game. Shout out to them, shout out to them, shout out to them. Full of energy the entire game. Do you hear me? The entire game they were full of energy. Unfortunately, DMV Prime, your energy was a little graveyard status, man. Graveyard status, nowhere to be found. Like your energy just wasn't there. The camera picks it up. You'll see some of the videos that I got. The camera picked it up that the energy wasn't there. We know at this age group, your energy, the kids feed off your energy. They feed off the energy of the crowd. They feed off the energy of their coaches. All it takes is 2 or 3 players at this age group to have that high energy, then the rest of the team is going to have it. So I feel as though before the game, when I first got there, the first thing I noticed was the energy. So right there, I felt like the Maryland Heat, the Army had the upper hand because they had the higher energy. And everybody knows in football that matters. So I got to give that to them right out the gate. Interacting with their players. The coaches were interacting a little bit more with their players, hyping them up when they made big plays, hitting them on the helmet, all that good stuff, getting them going, getting them ready. So right there, off the field, the psychological part, I think that the Maryland Heat coaches had already won, and the Maryland Heat players had already won the psychological part. They had already won that part. Physically, I don't know if the Maryland Heat's been practicing longer than the DMV Prime or what the case may be. Again, I haven't had a chance to see the Prime's team, so I can't really say what they hadn't done. They're only 6 years old. They're only 6 years old. I know some of y'all gonna be like, it don't matter, they football players. I get it, but they're still 6, bro. So if one team's had more practice and more time with their coach and understanding their coach and getting more chemistry with the team, it's going to be a major difference. It's going to show a major difference at this age group because they're 6 years old. All right? 6 years old. So with that being said, man, we're going to get into this video footage, bro. We're going to get into the video footage. We got to get into the video footage of this game. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all are going to be like, wow. When you see it, you're going to be like, wow. But we're going to get into it. And right out the gate, you're going to see, again, by the time we get there, the score is already 12-0. And as soon as we set up the camera, probably 2 plays in, the defense from the Heat make a crazy huge play. You're going to see it, man. We're going to get right into it right here, right now, man. As you can see it, man, right out the gate, the defense from the Heat stripped the ball. Look at it again, close up. Takes it into the end zone. Boom. 18, just that quick. It's 18-0. We're still in the first. I believe at this point we're in the beginning of the second quarter. You see Coach Fats, super hype. Super hype. They come out, they go for the conversion, ball on the ground, a little bit of miscommunication.
Trying to get to the edge, number 2.
Quarterback tries to get to the edge, it doesn't make it. At this point, the scoreboard in the building said 19-0. So it's 18 or 19-0 at this point. DMV Prime, they take the ball. High snaps was an issue for them all game.
Trying to do something with them.
And that's why I said, in my personal opinion, I feel as though they haven't had as much practice as the Heat. The Heat snaps were a little bit better. Prime struggled big time with the snaps. They struggled big time with the snaps.
Good tackle on
big time with the snaps. They couldn't get nothing off. The Heat defense was relentless. And then they forced the turnover. Heat get the ball back. And they go right back to that power game behind that offensive line. Let me tell you something. The Heat's offense and defensive line is so aggressive. And then they got speed on the edge with their backs, man. And they run physical, as you can see. If they can't beat you to the edge, they're going to lower that shoulder and try to run right through.
He got a wall, he got a crease. Ain't nobody over there but the coach. He can't make the tackle. They going to get it in again.
One number I can't remember because it was a little small and a little man. Look at Coach Bam's energy.
They did.
Look at his energy. They go for the conversion and they punch it in.
Conversion good.
At this point, it's pretty much out of control.
Prime sent it to the snap.
It's out of control. DMV Prime comes back on. They try to get something.
Trying to get to the edge.
They just couldn't get it together. They could not run him to the edge. You can see it for yourself. They could not run him to the edge. They couldn't run it up the middle. When they did get a good snap, they had a couple of good plays where they tried to get something going. But that defense was just too much. The line led by number 1 legend. And I don't know all the kids' names. I'm going to try to learn them as the year goes. As many kids' names as I can. But that line led by number 1 legend, when you got a monster that big up front, you have to double team him, period. You see him on the left side of the line, huge, just blowing kids into the backfield. You got to double team him, so if you double team him, that leaves the other lineman one-on-one. He get the ball back. The defense looked like it was going to be focused. The defense looked like it was making adjustments.
They call it incomplete.
He go to throw the ball, try something different. Boom, sack. I think this might be one of the few times that the Heat was forced on a 3-and-out because the defense was swarming. DMV Prime looked like they were going to make something shit. Looked like they was going to get a stop. I believe they forced a couple turnovers themselves. They get the ball back,
it's gonna be a little
but then they can't get nothing going.
You know what I mean?
The very next play, I think they ran one play on offense, and then the very next play they give it right back to the Maryland Heat. They give it right back to the Maryland Heat. We go into the fourth quarter, and Heat do what they do. I think Coach Bam and Coach Fats might have been trying to run that clock out, but it wasn't happening. The Heat players wasn't having it, bro. They wasn't having it. Their backs got vision. You see the cut made by the little man right there to cut back inside. Again, I don't know who was practicing more than the other or who had the most practices. But when you watch the game, you can go back and watch the whole game. You can go back and watch the stream if you want. Or you can trust the clips I got right here. And again, these is clips. These is clips throughout the game. These is clips throughout the game, man. And you can see what's happening here, bro. It wasn't even close.
Snap ball.
It wasn't even close. It really wasn't.
On the move.
It was a pass the sticks type of situation.
30,
Unfortunately, fortunately, it was a pass the sticks type of situation. Some would even say
ball game. That'll do it. We'll be back. We'll be back. We'll be back.
Captain said that it was a boot to butt, man. Soul Captain said it was a boot to butt. He said it was a foot to ass. That's what Soul Captain said. Foot to ass, pass the sticks. As you can see, man, the Maryland Heat Army was the winners of the 6U Memorial Day Classic Championship game. Easy win. Nothing even close. And again, I'm not trying to be funny. Easy pass the sticks win. Nothing even close, man. Nothing even close. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure you're ready to rock and roll. You got to make sure you're ready to rock and roll. Maryland Heat made sure they was ready to rock and roll. They came out and did what they had to do. They came out and got the job done. Salute to them. Maryland Heat Army. Maryland Heat Army, salute to you. You are the Memorial Day weekend 2024 6U champs. I'm dying to see what they got for the rest of the season. A lot of folks are saying, well, a lot of them are saying that they can't seem to get a game, unfortunately. So if you have a 6U out here, man, get them people some bump. Coach Fats, Coach Bam, they looking for smoke. I see them on the internet trying to get games. I seen a post the other day where they said Virginia teams must not play 6U. We got to have some 6Us over here, man. Get these folks some bump. Get them a game, man. We can't have them keep ripping and running and hiding. Y'all need to go out here and play these folks so that they can get some funk and they can get some game. That's the only way they're going to get better. It's just preseason, people. It's just preseason. Playing against these teams locally is not going to hurt you. We know the new AYF rule. You win your state, you go to nationals. You don't got to go to regionals in D1. So what is it going to hurt y'all playing against the comp in the area? You play the better comp now, then that tough comp when you get to nationals don't seem as hard. You duck and you run from comp all year. Even if you make it to nationals, the ass whooping is coming because it's a different level of football down there. I don't care if it's D1, D2. So get these folks some bumps. Again, salute, shout out to Bird. Good, great weekend of football games, Memorial Day weekend. The St. James was packed. Shout out to St. James. We're going to be doing more and more recaps of each championship game. We'll be doing recaps all year long. Next up is the 7U. Let me tell you something. 7U was a fire division this weekend. Shout out to Rosedale Tigers. We'll get into that. Shout out to NWO. Shout out to Jaffe, the Maryland Heat. Listen, some teams got some work to do, and we'll get into that. Some teams is strapped. We'll get into that. Some teams got players like what I like to call get loose Lou. And if you know, probably hands down the fastest. And I'm going to say it again. Probably hands down, the fastest 7U in the state of Virginia, the DMV, period. Because he live in the city. So I'm going to say DMV. Hands down, probably the fastest 7-year-old in the DMV. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. But we're going to get into that, man. Again, make sure you stay tuned. Hit the YouTube channel. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Takes you 2 seconds to set up an account. Most of y'all got Google emails anyway. Takes you 2 seconds to set up an account. Hit the subscribe button. Comment on the videos. Like, share. You feel me? We just trying to put a spotlight on the kids in the area this year. We're going to focus more on that, as you can see. We're going to focus on the coaches as well because they put in a lot of time and energy, man. So, again, overall, great 6U division. Maryland Heat proved that they are a couple steps ahead of DMV Prime. DMV Prime still got work to do. It's still early. There's a good chance that they can see each other at the end of the year. They in the same conference, if I'm not mistaken, so they probably most definitely going to see each other again. But when you play the Heat, you better have your A game on. Shout out to the champs. Shout out to Coach Bam. Shout out to Coach Fats. Big ups to those players. Number 22, the other little running back, I got to get his name. I can't remember his name, his number. And big legend on that line. There's another big lineman on that line, too, that got the strip for the touchdown. Salute to him. Salute to everybody involved, man. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Again, Local Locker Room Network, Samson the Badguy, man. This was a recap. Memorial Day weekend. 6U champs. You see what it is. You know what it is. It's the Army. Maryland Heat. Salute to them, man. We up out here. Peace.